Here's the strange thing. I came off the path, which is back that way and down the hill, and goes that way somewhere. And I just started walking off the path, knowing that at some point I will cross another path, but following my instinct to not follow a path. And within conservation area, it's usually a pretty decent thing to do. I'm not looking for anything, but I'm finding myself, finding my path, and finding things that are interesting along the way. Not really having a destination other than this is a nice sunny spot. I see some web down there shining. I see a stream. I see logs in a dark spot where there might be mushrooms growing. I think about all the things that I know, and I think about a lot of the things that I don't know. I have no idea what half the things are growing between here and the stream, or in the stream, or if that's even a stream or a vernal pool. And I'm curious, and here's a deer stand and an observation stand, and we're in GTD Family Forest Trust in Gill, Massachusetts. Luna's doing her thing, and I'm just following instinct. I don't know what that looks like. It's all fresh all the time. I don't know what I'm walking into other than what I know about my surroundings. And is that really knowing, or is it recognition of patterns and seeing the familiar and thinking by filling in the rest of the blank space that this must be reality? It is reality, I guess. I'm grateful to have the eyes and the wherewithal to find out where I am based on following my instinct. I'm curious. It's always nice to be curious. Curiosity leads us in many different directions. I don't know if you just caught that, but there's a, see if I can see it. It just went into the ground, I believe. Maybe that's a nest. There is a bumblebee, maybe a carpenter bee that just somewhere between that leaf and that leaf, that rock and that leaf. Luna, sit down, honey, or lay down. Lay down, baby. Come over here. I don't want you to step into anything. So I saw it go down like meow, and it went in. So likely in this area, probably in the leaves or underneath the leaves, there's a hive. And that would make sense. It's warm in the sun. It's a good spot. That bumblebee or carpenter bee has a place there, or has something that it hangs out in the sun. And that makes me very curious about, okay, where did it go? It went somewhere in this area. There it is. It just came out when I jarred the stick. Maybe there's a small hive forming in there or something being put together. It will likely come back to the area. It just got agitated if it's some kind of home or whatnot. Curiosity. My curiosity is so piqued right now with everything that I'm doing. I'm looking at the moss. Of course, you're looking into bright sun, so you may not see it as clearly. Where am I? There's moss behind that grass. There's a little grass growing. There's more moss over there. There's water, and it seems to be flowing. If I back this off, there's somewhat of a swampy area up there. This log follows down. It drops slightly. There's movement in the water. There's not much movement in the water. I'm not going to find watercress, but I do think about it when I see flowing water or moving water. And that is some semblance of rock wall over there. We've been sort of bumbling along, and I just came in from it. So if I follow that to a path, I mean, that might be a path right there. And that's definitely a path over there. If I just keep following that, eventually I'll come up to trail, and then I'll get back on the trail and do whatever I'm doing for the rest of the day. But sometimes it's nice to just go off the beaten path at a random place and just feel drawn to follow instinct. Like, okay, so I saw a mushroom, I was walking towards it, or I saw a stump, I was walking towards it, and then I just let whatever draws me to navigate along that path and take no second thought, with ease. And of course, with that ease also comes the challenge of actually being able to do and drop on it. So there's that. I don't even know what I would call this video except an exploration in psychology as it pertains to movement and walking piece of land. I don't know what else I would call it. That looks like a crazy path. I don't know if I want to walk through all that mud. Clearly animals have. Looks like a better place to cross over here. Always look on the rock walls and like any snakes or anything. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty solid. There's a chunk of steel. There's a nice spot to cross. I have no idea what I'm crossing. It looks like this could be a potential vernal pool. I don't see any critters in it. Kind of want to go around the far side instead of here, and then just go that way for a bit. Kind of. Look at that. Look at that. You know? What do you see? It's a heart. And sometimes when I see that heart shape, I'm like, oh, that's the way to go. That's the way to go, to the heart. Well, we go to what we're drawn to. So now I'm just looking for a good place to cross that's either narrow or, I don't know. I don't even know if I have. See, I want to get out of the conifer forest because it's more shady than where I want to be. And then I think, all right, get out of the conifer forest and go into mixed forest. It'll be a little more open, and maybe I can see something that I could, utilize or whatever. Luna, we're going this way, baby. Come on. Come over here. I like run right through it. Okay, dog. Okay, doggy. Yeah, you gotta shake it off then. So I expect to find mushrooms or not. I don't actually expect to find anything. I'm not looking for anything, and I don't expect to find anything. I expect to walk. That's it. Me walking and following my instinct or my gut. Look at that white pine. There are some really beautiful trees here. And here I am in the very forest that I said I was trying to get out of, pine forest. Going the other direction. You have the pack on, sweetie. You got the pack on. You gotta walk around. There you go. Blueberries. At least with that, yeah, that's a blueberry. That's what they look like when they're filling out in the spring. I'm looking at the potential of finding some fungus and just randomly walking. I'm kind of curious where I'm going to hit path again, because I'm veering inward towards what would be path down that direction, and we'll just see. We'll see. Right now I'm drawn to, there's a patch of greenery over there, but I suspect I already know what it is. But also trying to stay sort of along the light, along a downward slope, facing the sun, because I've heard that, oh, look, there's a pile of, what do those look like? Those look like small deer poop, because they're kind of elongated. They also look like bunny poop, like a nest of bunny poop. I don't know. Watch the dog. Where is she going? Where are you going, Buna? Where is she going? Does she have any idea? You're looking at me for guidance. You got to come back here. I'm not going that way. I'm just following my instinct. I guess if my instinct was in the shape of a dog, I would follow the dog. Yeah. Or maybe not. Is that a path? Are you on a path? You know, I'm down on the other side of the hill, and what are we seeing? What are you seeing? Where are you, Luna? And I'm seeing a dip and thinking, well, if I follow that down. Luna, where are you going? It's funny, she disappears into the woods so quickly. That's why I put a pack on her. Where's that pack? Maybe she found a spot to go gadget. Luna Bear! Look away for 1 minute and she's like, quiet. Probably make it a poop. Luna Bear. There you are. So she was somewhere over there. I thought she probably went that way and followed down and around and then heard me and came back up. You're a crazy hound. You're a crazy hound. Yeah, this is the long one. This is the one that nobody wants to watch. But in some ways you do want to watch it, because it's just this great experience between me and the dog. Oh, look at that stone. I was looking at that before. I'm like, that is cool. That is a big chunk of quartz, no doubt. There is a lot of this buried below the surface here, but that is a beautiful piece of stone. Look at that. A lot of stuff that cracked away. There. This sometimes just pulling away the edges and exposing what's there. There's some pretty crystal in there, that area. Be nice to take a hammer to it, but then that alters everything, doesn't it? No, leave it the way it is. And then I always look at this stuff nearby This one is banded. It's more of what is prevalent in the valley, the conglomerate, and it's banded. It has a band of quartz, which is the same vein. But yeah, interesting to follow. So geology, an interesting collection of stones. One of those is truly shaped, this one. And I don't know if that's natural or not. I think it is, and probably somebody put it there along with some other stones, maybe balanced or whatnot at the base of this tree. And that looks like hard salami, but it's not. And this one, and those were put there. Maybe it's grave. Maybe there's somebody buried here. It's a big old tree, and it's got that up there. I don't know if that's Cecropia moth eggs or if that's a fungus or what exactly that is. But there's that. Know a tree by its bark. What has bark like that? That's a really good question. 16 minutes and 17 seconds in. What is that bark? Let's get another look at that. There. Check that out. What is that bark? It's a very specific appearance. This tree is about 2 feet thick. And back into a mix of white pine and maybe some hemlock forest, heading downhill to, oh, I see a property boundary. Maybe that's the trail. I see it up ahead, the little golden. There it is. Here's the path. We did it. We came full circle. Great. And because of the time of day it is right now, I'm going to resist the temptation of going much beyond this bridge. I've been in this forest before with a pack of coyotes, not here specifically, but I like to give them plenty of buffer. And Luna's got a pack on today, so I don't want to tempt fate. There is an active coyote pack here. There is at least 5 dogs and a rather sizable male. At least he looked sizable when he fluffed out when he was in the vicinity, staring me down a couple years ago. I'm sure they're still here. Active coyotes. Look like an older male too. Is very white coat. We'll stand here over this stream and I'll look downstream at that pretty arch that nature made by bending over a tree in a swampy area. And I'll say, thank you for being here. Thank you for being present with me. This is the end of my hike. And thank you for tuning into my channel and following along for ramblings and so on in my life. I greatly appreciate your feedback and your input and being part of the greater collective of people making good choices and doing good things. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and spreading the word. I have over 1,000 videos on various topics, from human psychology to individual findings and experiences to discovering what I'm seeing in nature and identifying it with genus and species in Latin so that we're clear and everybody knows what we're talking about. They can call it a different thing. I love it. White pine. I'll take this branch home because white pine is, if you chew on it, it's anti something or other. Anti-plaque. I know it's got a little bit of sugar in it, but it's or anti-tumor, anti-something. Antiseptic. That's what it is. Antiseptic. Antiseptic in oral situations. So, not that I'm looking for that necessarily, but it's always good to take something that's green that fell out of a tree from the ground and utilize it, I think. Sometimes I don't know why people put things there. It's unnatural for a tree to hold a stone. I'll leave it. Sometimes I just want to, when I see things that I know are wrong or out of place because somebody put them there, I want to undo it and throw it back to what it was naturally. But it's funny. It's someone else's creation, which is fine. I have my own creations, and would I want them destroyed? Yeah, actually, I like to set up artwork in nature that nature will destroy, or that'll get knocked over naturally much more easily. Setting up a line of sticks and making a form and knowing that an animal's going to walk through it. And in time, it'll deteriorate to where you don't even recognize that they were put there in the first place. And just watching things over time, snapshots. I could talk forever. Have a good day. I hope you're having a great day. And again, thank you. And stay in touch. Stay tuned. Stay in touch. Cheers.